Does time affect things? Hello and welcome. And today I'm going to talk of another, and it's mainly about time and its effect on things. Now you're like, well, of course it has an effect on things. Of course, that makes sense. But what type of effect? I mean, and let me just reiterate. Okay, so what you experience and what you concentrate on, what you will continuously bring forth into your reality, is what is going to set you apart. Okay? Now, I'm just going to give you my example because that's the one I can talk about. So, when I was a child, I was to be picked on, bullied, teased. That was because I learned as an adult, that was because of my communication style was very off-putting, to say the least. And I honed in and improved and polished my communication style since I was a child. So because of that, I have become better. But this is not my original form or my original state. I feel like I'm a Pokemon who just evolved. Well, I'm not a Pokemon, but I did evolve. So, if you think about it, okay, just like anything else, there's a transition, there's a transformation. Everybody changes, everybody shifts. The only difference is the people who, in that shifting, don't fully embrace the shifting and stay where they are. Or, they don't necessarily stay where they are. They just don't fully evolve as much as they could because they continuously choose the old self. You know, it's kind of like people you knew in high school and it's like they've stayed in high school. Not that as a bad thing, I'm just saying that because that just it reiterates or proves to me that they appreciate that time so much that they rather stay in that time capsule, which is okay. Everyone has freedom of choice, right? This whole universe, this entire experience, this entire reality, you are the one creating it. And if you are creating it, that's because you enjoy it. And you're like, yeah, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't. But why is the same thing happening again and again? Most probably because you're choosing the same thing. If you want something different, make a different. Okay. The saying goes, if you want things in your life to change, you have to change things in your life. You can't continuously do the same things and expect different results. It just doesn't work like that, right? So, of course, time changes things for either the better or for not so much better. But it is your choice. And if you have created it in your reality, it's because you concentrate on it enough for it to become a manifestation in your reality. So at the end of the day, you have full control over what you create or recreate in your life. So, the final say is you control all of it. That's why they say you are a powerful creator. We are made in the image of God. Not physically, but like what we can do. You have complete control over your life. All of it. And like I'm talking from experience. So for those of you who have followed me for a little bit, you know that I was hit by a car when I was 19. And the car accident was so great that when I got to the hospital, the doctors put me in a induced coma to keep me alive while my body was recovering from the accident. And the reason why, like at this point, I don't know if you can tell that I was hit by a car or if you can't, is because I made certain choices. I no longer stayed in that bubble of I was hit by a car, I was hit by a car, I was hit by a car, I was hit by a car. I decided to improve. I decided to get to such a point that people were not able to see that I was hit by a car within 5 years. Okay? Now, it took me 7.5, but just the fact that I continued working on this constantly until it didn't even show is proof that you can make anything happen. Okay? And I'm not the only one, alright? Like, my coach, Christopher Didion, he got out of his being dyslexic. Not that he got out of it, but he knows how to deal with it better now, with his dyslexia. And then my other coach, Christopher Duncan, he was also dyslexic, right? And he also got over that. And I mean, there's like a bunch of stuff. And then JT Fox, he also got out of his issues. And like, he pushed himself to get better. He has a saying that he says all the time, which is, don't just do your best, do whatever it takes. If you want to succeed, do whatever it takes. I mean, of course, then you would have like you need to follow your moral compass, of course, but if you really want it that bad, do what you need to do to make it happen. Okay? Like, for example, at the beginning of my recovery, okay, I was a mess. I did not talk normal. I was very weird. I was awkward. Okay, so what did I do? I put myself in social situations to force me to grow and to expand and to talk to people and to become better, because I don't know about your culture, but in my culture, weird is not necessarily accepted. So the faster you get out of that sticky situation, the better. But the thing is that it's like I was a teen twice, right? So before the accident, naturally, the normal like evolution of life, I was a teen. But then, yet again, I had to go back through my teenage years after my accident, and it was hilarious. But it's like people, I don't know what people experience, but it's like they see that like you were one thing 1 minute and then they expect you to be fine the next, or they expect you to perpetuate that state of not being good enough or not being well. So that the in-between, where most of the things happen, most time is spent in the in-between, people are like, what is this? You don't look so great, right? But the in-between is where you need to be comfortable. The in-between is where you have to be home. Like, the in-between is home, okay? If you really want to succeed, you have to be fine with the in-between, with the uncomfortable. Let's just say if things are not uncomfortable, make them uncomfortable, because that means that you are stagnating, and if you're stagnating, life is slowly but surely going to end. And you don't want that. You want constant evolution, constant improvement. That is what you want. I think that's why my grandpa lived until he was 90. He's the first person from my dad's side to live till 90. Right? I think. In any case, but the man was always looking towards new things, new ways, new ideas, new, right? So that just gives you an idea to always look for something that expands your mind, expands your consciousness, expands stuff for you, okay? Learn from others is the best. Learning from others is the best thing you can possibly do, all right? So how will you deal with time constantly moving? And will you actually try to stay where you were, or are you going to move with time and improve as you go along? Let me know.